All right, everybody. How y'all doing? What's up? This is Shot of Sports. We got Billy. We got DC. Donovan couldn't be with us today. He got some things going on that we respect and hope and pray that he get through. So, how's y'all weekend?
Good. I had a full weekend off from work, so I'm good. So, I'm good.
Good weekend of football, baby. Throughout, from Saturday to Sunday, it was great back-to-back days. So yeah, good weekend so far for over here.
Okay, so let's we're gonna get right into it. Breaking news that we have some in college football. There's been breaking news that probably is tragedy to a lot of people. We have 3 University of Virginia football players killed, 2 other students wounded in a shooting. A former UVA player was suspected killing 3 current football players and wounding 2 others on campus late Sunday night in Charlottesville, Virginia. University of Virginia has had a shooting with college football players in it.
So sad.
So, rest in peace to those guys. Rest and pray for their families. No one should have to go through that type of nonsense or anything like that. No one should have to go through that kind of thing. So we just pray those families get through it, and the University of Virginia as well. We just hope that everyone involved and everyone that goes to school there or alumni from that school, gets through it. So we're going to jump into baseball real quick with the quickest free agent news. We have Rafael Montero. He reached a 3-year deal, $34.5 million to stay with the Astros. That's very huge for the Astros there. I mean, they got another fireball arm that's staying. Now the rest of them, we'll see what happens with Verlander soon, and we'll get some more baseball awards. Anything else y'all got to want to add in baseball?
Looks like you got DC.
No, my bad. Go ahead.
All right. I said just everyone's going to be keeping up with the Aaron Judge sweepstakes, of course. I mean, he's the top free agent this year. Looks like Shane Bieber's staying with Cleveland. I believe that's a big get for them to be able to keep him within that organization. And also looks like my Phillies will be focused on getting Xander Bogaerts. They're really interested, mainly due to the fact that our GM used to be in Boston and was there with Xander Bogaerts, so he has some Boston ties with him. So free agency is going to be very interesting from top to bottom. Like we talked about last week, me and you, Jalen, it's just going to be a lot of these. There's a lot of top names, right? Especially throughout the infield, especially at shortstop. And there's going to be a lot of these teams who are looking to contend, to try to, let's be honest, they're throwing the Astros of their dominance over the last 6 years. But, so yeah.
Go ahead, DC.
That re-sign of the Padres, Robert Saraj, 5-year, $46 million. I'm like that's perfect if they kept him, especially because they're going to need him. Like you said, I'm just trying to see what's going to happen with the Aaron Judge situation and everything.
Yeah, the bar remains high for Aaron Judge. I mean, you're going to have to end up giving him $500 million. And I don't think a lot of teams want to do that. But at the same time, it is Aaron Judge, and he is an MVP. He will be an MVP in my eyes. And he's the home run king right now. So you want that on your team, and sometimes you just have to bite that bullet, and hopefully you can get production elsewhere for a cheaper cost. There's been no updates really with the Cubs and Wilson Contreras or them still pursuing Correa and Alexander Bogaerts. There's still been really no updates on that. All we know is that Wilson Contreras declined their qualifying offer from the Cubs, and he's a free agent. And like I said last week, that the Cubs and Scott Boras met each other about Correa and Bogaerts, so they're high on their list as well as Contreras. And the White Sox, losing Jose Abreu will hurt them a lot, because you're losing a 300 hitter with one of probably your best 300 hitter and a consistent guy that consistently hits 300. So, you're missing that. What are you going to throw Gavin Sheets over there and then DH Eloy, and then they'll have Adam Engel in left, I got a feeling. And then in right, you probably have AJ Pollock, and then center, obviously, Luis Robert. So, they won't be really hurt, but at the same time, in left field, you have a two-man rotation with Adam Engel and Larry Garcia as well. So, with Eloy most likely DHing and Gavin Sheets probably playing first. So, losing Jose Abreu is going to hurt them a lot. We'll see how they respond. And that's baseball. That's all we got for baseball today. There's really been nothing much to comment on. We're just waiting, for the awards to drop, and we're waiting for the free agents to keep on signing. So we're gonna drop it down to DC and basketball. Go ahead, take over.
Man, basketball has been crazy. I think there's only one undefeated team, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, basketball's been crazy. I'm having a lot of injuries. No, they're not undefeated anymore. Sorry. Yeah, they have 2 losses, but they have 10 wins. So, Spurs beat the Bucks, which was a surprising game. Very surprising. I say watch out for them Kings. Them Kings top of the Lakers a few days ago. But I want to talk about yesterday's game. I say, man, even though they lost by 5, Darius Garland, man, that man went off. That man dropped. He had played 40 minutes. He went 16 for 13 from field goal, 10 for 15 from 3, with 6 assists and 51 points. They did not have Ian Mobley, and they did not also have Donovan Mitchell play either. So they had 2 guys out that they could have used, but it was coach's decision. They were both out, and they lost by 5. Still a close, fought battle game. But you still had LeVert drop 13, Stevens dropped 15, with Love 14, and you had Osman who dropped 14. But like I said, them Timberwolves is still a team never to be slept on, because you had Prince with 19, you had Edwards who had 7 rebounds with 10 points right there. D'Angelo Russell had 30 points with 12 assists, and Towns had 13 rebounds with 29 points. And Gobert had 13 rebounds with 15 points, and they were just attacking the rebound. And it was a sold-out game with a full 100%, 20,000 people in the arena for that game. So surprisingly to see that. That game was a crazy game, but the Timberwolves got the win over the Cavaliers. Lakers, man, these Lakers, man. So LeBron James didn't play. Ben Simmons was out, sore left knee. They got their 3rd win. Without LeBron.
Really, when you look at it, you really like, who cares? You only really care about it if they lose at the same time, because you know that they're the Lakers. But at the same time, it's like, yes, they finally got a win, and it's very important that they continue to try to put on a streak to try to even stay relevant. But at the same time, you know that they're going to lose like 4 more games straight. So it's hard to really sit back and be on this team like, yeah, let's go. They're going to start a run. It's not going to happen. They played well last night, but they got like another game in about a couple days, and
they still barely play well. They shooting still terrible. But I'm surprised they got that win over my team. But the Nets still don't have Kyrie Irving. We supposed to be hearing some more updates about that today, because they said he had till the weekend to finish his last few things. But we'll see what happens. Because if not, they're releasing him, and that's going to be interesting because I know some teams are going to be wanting him because they release him and he goes to another team. Sorry, but all that money that you just had, you finna go to waste. But the stats for that game, Westbrook had a double-double, 14 points, 12 assists, but still shot terrible. I think Jalen shoots better than him. He went 4 for 15 from field goal, 1 for 6 from three. Lonnie Walker was the guy that helped him out. He had 25 points. He went 4 for 5 for three and 9 from 15 from field goal. Reeves had 5 from 8 from field goal, had 15 points. They helped him. He helped out with those threes as well, too. He went 3 for 4. Beverly, man, oh my goodness. Him and Westbrook should be twins. I'm glad they got twins on the team because he went 1 for 5, 0 for 4 from 3 with 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and only 2 points. Brown Jr. didn't do anything, but Anthony Davis also came in clutch with 37 points, 18 rebounds. That's what I like to see from him. That's pretty much from that game. Yeah. I mean, they doing all right. Shooting is kind of getting a little better, but it has to be like you shouldn't have one game that LeBron James is not there and then your shooting get better or you got certain guys dropping double-digit points. That should be like at every game with y'all with the power. With the shooting power you got like this team has, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. It's like that should be an every game thing. Let's see. Durant had 31 with 9 rebounds, 7 assists. You had he was only really doing everything by himself. He got a few other guys that dropped.
See, that's the thing. Points. See, that's the thing that the Nets is having a problem with. There's no production coming from anybody else. When you look at Kevin Durant, he's constantly having to drop 30, 35, 40 points for them to win games.
Sure.
Yeah, he did. And they played yesterday. He had to drop like 30 plus. And they won that game against the Clippers. Yes, they won. But then he come back today. And he has to do it again. Like they played it back to back.
But I say it, but here also that they played that helped them clutched up in the game as well too against the Clippers did not play. So Seth Curry did not play. Patty Mills, I don't know why he wasn't even in the starting lineup that game, and he should have played because like I know he can help them. I mean, but when you only play him for 13 minutes and you only get a total of like 10 shots but barely can hit, like you got to give him a chance. I don't care what nobody say. You want Patty Mills in when Seth Curry is not playing. And it's not Steph, y'all. I said Seth, his brother. So Ben Simmons didn't play, so they didn't have to worry about anything there. You know what I'm saying? But man,
yeah, but he has defense, so he would have been able to. I mean, he would be able to. I think he would have been able to slow down Anthony Davis a little bit. He would have been able to take him out of the whole game. But if you have that kind of a bigger body that can play defense, Anthony Davis 37 points, that wouldn't happen. He may get like 28, maybe 30, but he wouldn't get on 37. I mean, Anthony Davis was like on KD. KD can't guard. KD couldn't stop a nosebleed. It's somebody that big. You know, he's like just generationally bigger than him. And when you look, I watched some of the end of the game. Anthony Davis was just pushing KD around. He was just backing him down and babying him literally in the paint because KD is. I mean, let's be real. He's tall, but he ain't super strong. I mean, he's not able to play down there in the paint with KD and Simmons. He's not able to play with AD down there in the Simmons. Like, he can't do that down there in the paint. He's more of a wing or perimeter defensive player, if anything. That's where his long capabilities come from. He's not a guy in the paint that will be able to bang bodies down there in the trenches and stop a guy from scoring. No. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, would be able to do that. Yeah, he may not be able to score, but his defense is very important. So that's my take on that.
I say, the last game I want to bring up is a team that hasn't been doing so hot, man. The Warriors, like they had a good start, but anybody can have a good start. Then everything they lost 122-115 to the Sacramento Kings. Kings are 6-6. The Warriors are 5-8. What's up with that team? Like you got those
Warriors are
high-powered shooters, these defensive players. And the Kings had 4 to 5 players who didn't even play and only had limited people on their bench they can use. And De'Aaron Fox dropped 22 with 8 assists. He went 10 for 19 for field goal, 2 for 4 from 3. Murray had 21, 8 for 15 from field goal, 5 for 9 from 3.
That's Keegan Murray, folks, not deep.
Yeah,
That's
Keegan Murray,
DeJounte
my
Murray.
bad.
That's
Sabonis.
Keegan Murray, not DeJounte.
Sabonis, oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. 10 for 17 from field goal, 2 for 2 from 3, with 26 points and 20 rebounds with 8 assists. That's also a good person who had a game. And I know what person you're talking about, and I'm gonna get to that, Jay. I did see that. And they had a limited bench, and they only had one guy who came off the bench and scored, Malik Bond, who scored 12 points. But when you see the difference in, like, oh my goodness, the Warriors also had 5 players who didn't play. Like Moody didn't play, Wiseman didn't play. Not DeAndre Green, but I forgot his first name, but his last name is Green. Like they had a good amount of players that didn't play either. But man, when you still got Jordan Poole who's dropping 18 points, Klay Thompson 17, Curry 27, Andrew Wiggins 26. Looney ain't do nothing. He only had 10 rebounds. That should be your rebound. That's your rebounding guy right there. He only had 8 points, 10 rebounds. How you let somebody who doesn't even really get rebounds like that, Sabonis, I've never seen this man get over 20 rebounds in my life. And you get out rebounded by somebody shorter than you. Like, that's crazy. But that game was crazy though.
Capella does it all the time though. Clint Capella, Valanciunas, they get like 20 rebounds all the time. 15,
yeah, I know,
18,
but most of the time, not Sabonis though. Like you don't really see that a lot from Sabonis. But I mean, shout out to them Kings, man. They fighting tough over there, man. They definitely. I looked at their schedule, bro. It's a hard schedule, but they making it happen with these wins. But the game everybody talked about. Let's see. Hold on, let me make sure. Was them the 76ers. Jay brought this up. I think it was almost a quadruple double. It was
Joel Embiid almost. Yeah, he had like 7 blocks.
Yeah, so
it was the points, baby.
It was the 76ers versus the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta 8-5. Philadelphia 7-6 now. Atlanta, hey, they looking like Atlanta. I mean, they still a good team. If there was a finals today, Golden State versus Atlanta, I'm taking Atlanta in game 5. I'm sorry. But
Atlanta actually, I give Atlanta credit. On Saturday, they battled back. They battled back in that game. They were down like at least 27 points at one time in that game. They battled it all the way down to 5. So it's like at one point they went on a 23-3 run. That was just insane.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
Yeah,
You can never count Atlanta. You never can count Atlanta out in a game. I mean, Trae Young had 1 assist in the first half, and he ended with 10 after the half. At the end of the game, in the first half, he had 1 assist. He ended with 10 at the end of the game.
True. Yeah. And I say this: if more of their shots would have dropped, I think the Hawks would have won that game, because Murray and Young they missed a bunch of shots, man. Young went 8 from 18, and Murray went 9 for 23, but they still had 27, 23 points. The bench has to do a little bit more job at like getting there. You know what I'm saying? So, and doing what they need to do. Go ahead, but man, 76ers, bro. Like, come on, you got Tobias Harris, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. You got Embiid with the almost quadruple double with 42 points. What was it? I think it was like 8 assists.
49
Or
points.
no, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 blocks.
Oh, he's
like
talking
that.
about the Saturday game. He's talking about the Saturday game. He's not talking about last night.
No. I'm just saying in general. But like in general, when you got somebody that's doing that, that's hard to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Billy.
Well, what I was gonna say was when you're talking about that Atlanta game, us Sixers fans, we remember Game 5 of the semifinals against that team. We were up, I believe, at one point 30 points. We were up 25 to 30 points at one point in the second half, and we lost the game in Game 5 in regulation at home in a playoff game. So when they started coming back, I was kind of like, oh, this is same old story. It's happening again. But thank God we were able to hold on. And Joel Embiid, back-to-back games, 42 points, then goes back to 59 points. In back-to-back days, he had 101 points. Let that sink in for a second. In back-to-back days, first off, Embiid don't play a lot of back-to-backs. And then you got him doing 50. You got him going from 42 to 59 points. Last night, he had 59 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and 7 blocks. And the thing was, he's not just dominating the paint. He could shoot anywhere on the court for as big as he is. And it's hard to stop that man when he's on, and it's even tougher to stop when he's just healthy. And right now, look, early in the year, Embiid, this is what he does. And then what's going to happen is the wear and tear of the season is going to happen. And then as the season goes on, he's going to start you're going to see the decrease slowly but surely. He's going to have them games where he's going to be great. But then once it's playoff time, his body just kind of like, you can see it deteriorates once it gets to the playoffs. So right now it's great to see that he's putting up great numbers, but I'm worried about April, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, wow, just 59 points. Imagine taking his stat line last night. Let's just be real. Let's just say he got 59. So let's say he would drop 45 plus points, 10 plus rebounds. What did he have? About 10 assists? Yeah, he had about 10 assists. 9 assists. Okay. So imagine you take him to get 45 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, 8 plus assists, and then you would say he would get like 5 blocks. That right there alone could get you paid on FanDuel. That alone could get you some real serious cash if you was to put down $5-10 on all of those stat lines. His stat line just alone yesterday could get you paid. No one ever sees this kind of stuff happening. Like, it's just, I guarantee you a lot of people slammed his under last night in a back-to-back game, and he crushed y'all. So that's why I don't pick unders. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, the 42 points, he
muted, Bill.
Got that, but I mean, it's crazy. Basketball is going nuts right now, so it's gonna be wild to see that. It wouldn't be a surprise that Milwaukee takes a championship again after the team they're
nobody would. Wait till Chris Middleton gets back and fully healthy. But I'll say this:
Phoenix's last chance to win a ring. Otherwise,
or the Celtics. The Celtics are 10-3 also, and they're
they ain't playing bad.
I got right now Jason Tatum to win MVP right now.
He's playing some good basketball. I think it's hard to take away what Luka's doing too. Like, Luka's legit carrying the Mavericks by himself. So
but he's not winning games. They're not winning games.
But he's having to do it by himself. So really.
Yeah, but they're like winning enough games to where they're still competent. But it's like if he's not on the put it to this way: Luka on the court, right? You're like, okay, the Mavericks have a chance at winning, right? Luka when Luka's not on the floor, Mavericks getting blown out. Same thing with the Bills. Josh Allen's on the football field. They're like, they're probably going to win by a good, significant margin when healthy. And then when he's not healthy or when he's out, you're like, they're probably going to, we're probably going to lose here, you know? And I think that's kind of the same ripple effect of them too. But what I was going to say earlier, and I'm stupid because I was muted. I was going to say, DC, I know you're a big fantasy basketball guy. And I don't know if you guys know, Joel Embiid last night had 115 fantasy points in fantasy basketball. I don't know the point system of fantasy basketball, but that just sounds like a ton. So sounds impressive.
It's for one game, somebody getting 150, like it's crazy because most of the time you'll want like somebody like that'll get that like Steph Curry or like Kevin Durant, but most of the time like from the center aspect, like you can want them to get it, like you should expect them to get it because you got a dude who can bang down low and get points, but also like get rebounds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, get the points, but get the rebounds. You know what I'm saying? And I got the blocks as well too. But it's like when you got blocks, rebounds, assists, and points, of course you go get that amount of points. So it's like that amount right there. Like all I gotta say, whoever had did some absolute damage on a fantasy. I'll say that for a fact.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
That's all for basketball we got for the day. The Bulls played not great last night. They lost by 20 plus, making them 6-8. They're not looking like they were last year, but still early. Yeah, it's still real early. They're trying to figure things out, and it goes to show you that they need Lonzo Ball. So it goes to show you that Lonzo Ball is a big piece in what they're trying to do in the future. So,
they're trying to. One more thing. They actually are. The Lakers are trying to go for a trade with the Heat for Kyle Lowry, and I forgot someone else for a trade with the Lakers. So the Heat and the Lakers are trying to, I think, come up with a trade to get rid of Westbrook and get Kyle Lowry over to the Lakers. Because I feel like if you do that, that would help open up the offense side of shooting and passing.
Game of the night will be the Hawks and the Bucks tonight. You know, Hawks Bucks tonight at 8. That's the game of the night. So let's head into football. Go ahead, Bill.
Well,
big day.
Oh yeah, in the NFL world, we're going to start off with the NFL, of course. You got the Minnesota Vikings, the Buffalo Bills playing probably the game of the year. That was unbelievable to watch. You thought, oh yeah, Buffalo's just going to, it's over. Buffalo's up 17 points at home against Kirk Cousins. It's over. And then all of a sudden you see Dalvin Cook get an 80-yard touchdown. You're like, oh, this could happen. And then you see they score another one. And you're like, oh, maybe something's getting interesting here. And then they're starting to move down the field. And then we see one of, if not the greatest catch of all time by Justin Jefferson. They start moving down the field. Bills get a massive stop on 4th and goal to stop Kirk Cousins from scoring a touchdown. And now you're like, oh, yep, finally, the game is over. The Bills are going to win by 4 at home. And then Josh Allen fumbles the ball on the goal line. And the Vikings recover it for a touchdown. Then the Bills down 3, drive down the field, force a field goal. Now it's going to overtime. Minnesota kicks a field goal. Bills are driving all the way down the field. And then Josh Allen forces a ball. Pat Pete gets a second pick of the game. It was an incredible game. And if people thought the Vikings were frauds, I think that game just told you they're not frauds anymore. They're now legit. Justin Jefferson, 10 catches, 193 and a touchdown. He was unstoppable. And Stephon Diggs had himself a great game. 12 catches for 128. But because of the day by Mr. Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas, Diggs' day is kind of overshadowed. Incredible game. But you can clearly see that Josh Allen is not completely healthy. Buccaneers and Seahawks played the first game in the NFL in Germany. It was a great game. Buccaneers were able to win that game and hold off the Seattle comeback. Got to be honest here. Tom Brady played a pretty good game. He did throw a pretty bad interception late in the fourth quarter. He also did fall when Leonard Fournette tried to do a trick play and throw him the ball. He did fall. But overall, the Bucs defensively, they only allowed, I think, not even 40 yards rushing against Kenneth Walker and Geno Smith. It was an incredible day by their defense, and they were really only giving up a lot of stuff late when they were up 18 points. Lions Bears played a hell of a game. Justin Fields is electric to watch. There's no two ways about it. There might be no better quarterback this year. There might be no better quarterback this year on the feet than Justin Fields. But the Lions, man, they found a way to come back and score 21 points in the fourth quarter and win the game by 1 point. A missed extra point clearly hurt the Bears late in that game. Dolphins went up and they did what they had to do. Tua had himself an incredible day, 25-32, 285 and 3 touchdowns. And the good thing about this game is it wasn't just the Tyreek Hill show. It wasn't just the Jalen Waddle show. He was throwing the ball all across the field. So that was nice to see that he can actually throw the ball to different receivers. Titans Broncos.
He had 2 tutties.
Oh, yeah. Titans Broncos. Pretty sloppy game. It was a defensive battle, 17-10. Titans win at home. Broncos now go down to 3-6. Fun fact, if the Broncos just scored 18 points in all of their games, they'd be 8-1. Isn't that crazy? That's just how bad their offense has been. And they have an offensive coach. So that's – yeah. Giants, Texans, Giants. They did enough to win. Saquon Barkley, another great game by right now the most electric running back in football to watch. Jaguars, Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has himself another Patrick Mahomes type of day. 4 touchdowns, 331. We saw a pretty devastating injury with Juju Smith-Schuster over the middle. He took a big pop. Hopefully he's good. It looks like it's a concussion, so he'll probably be out next week, but
he'll be okay.
Jaguars fought, man. You got to give the Jaguars some credit. Christian Kirk had himself a day. Steelers, Saints. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think anybody other than Steelers or Saints fans watched that game. And it was not really the most electric game, 20-10. The Steelers were able to win. They got a big win at home. Maybe they could start, putting stuff together. But the way for the Steelers to win is how they beat the Saints. They're going to have to win ugly. And the Saints now move down to 3-7. Now you go over to Colts Raiders. Jeff Saturday and the Colts looked competent. They look like they know what they're doing. They go over to Las Vegas and beat the Raiders 25-20. Matt Ryan played himself a hell of a game. Did not turn the ball over. And Jonathan Taylor looks like Jonathan Taylor again. It was a great game to watch. Really electric game. And now the Raiders are 2-7, and they're the worst team in the AFC West by record. Cardinals, Rams, the battle of the backup quarterbacks. Colt McCoy versus John Wolford. And the Cardinals got the best of them. They are now 4-6, and the Super Bowl champions go down to 3-6. Packers win at home.
That's another
being down
game of the week.
Oh, this game was incredible to watch. Down 14 points at home in the fourth quarter. They tie it, bring it to overtime, and they get a stop on 4th down, drive down the field, and get an incredible finish into that game. Aaron Rodgers played well. Aaron Jones had 138 rushing yards. They ran the ball for over 200. Christian Watson, the rookie out of North Dakota State, 4 catches, 107, and 3 touchdowns. He had himself a day.
Cowboys are going cowboy. That's what I.
Early in that
Cowboys are
game,
going cowboy.
Dak Prescott in the first half just did not look comfortable. He just looked like it looked like he just was very, how do I explain this? He was hesitating a lot, and he was forcing passes that didn't need to be forced. But as the game went on, he settled in. But then fourth quarter and overtime, when you needed him to be, the $40 million man that you're paying him per year, he wasn't there. CeeDee Lamb, 11 catches, 150 and 2 touchdowns. He had himself a day. And then the Sunday night game, you had Chargers 49ers. Justin Herbert, mixing up the names a lot. Justin Herbert threw an interception at the end of the game. He got his arm batted. On the 49ers side of things, they ran the ball for almost 40 times, and they ran the ball for well over 100 yards. They just played good, competent football. They just played physical at the end of the day. And the Chargers scored all their 16 points in the first half and had nothing to show for in the second half. 49ers are able to hold them off and win at home. And then tonight we have an NFC East matchup, Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles looking to stay undefeated. And the Commanders are looking to beat the Eagles and end the Eagles' 3-game winning streak against Washington. So it should be a good game tonight in the NFL. You guys have any thoughts?
You covered all the NFL. I mean, I don't got nothing really to say. I mean, Cowboys are going cowboy. And Justin Jefferson has just unanimously made himself the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. Yes, you could say Devontae Adams. Or, yes, you could doggo say Cooper Kupp. But nobody is more lethal right now than Justin Jefferson.
A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown, yes. But just look at the numbers that Justin Jefferson has right now. Justin Jefferson has better numbers. Just saying, but
yeah. Only person
crazy.
I'd say is Tyreek Hill. Only person I'd say is Tyreek Hill for this season.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson has definitely put him in the upper echelons of college, of the NFL right now in wide receivers. So he's definitely top 3 rather, to me.
Oh, absolutely. I think right now this year, the 1 and 2 is Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson to me. I don't know who else could you go for? You know what I mean? Like Cooper Kupp, yeah, but like he's been a little bit banged up this year. Devontae Adams has just had a lot of inconsistent games. I just don't know who else you could say when it comes to the top receiver in football right now.
Jettas.
Jay Jettas, man, took over that game in the late game.
Going ahead to college.
All right, college football. We had another great week. Just going to hit you with some good games and some key games. LSU beats Arkansas. Tough, physical game at the Razorback Stadium. Jaden Daniels only had 86 yards passing, but they ran the ball well enough to be able to hold off and win. Both teams could not really throw the ball very effectively, but it was just one of them great SEC defensive battles. And LSU is now probably going to be the number 6 team in the country after Oregon's loss. We'll get to that one later. Tennessee, maybe we thought, teams might know how their offense. They might have figured them out, and they put up 66 points this week against Missouri. They're all the way back. Notre Dame with a nice win at Navy. That's huge. USC blows out Colorado as expected. Oklahoma State beats Iowa State, so Oklahoma State finally is off the losing skid. Michigan keeps on winning and dominating. Same thing with Ohio State. That game at the Shoe is going to be great to watch in just 2 weeks. Alabama, Mississippi, or Ole Miss, excuse me. Alabama wins by 6. They played well, and they played really well in the second half because for the majority of the game, Ole Miss was leading. And in the second half, they outscored them 16-7. Bryce Young, 3 touchdowns on the day. They ran the ball well, and they did enough to be able to hold off the Rebels. Georgia blows out Mississippi State as it should have happened. Washington beating Oregon was massive. That was an incredible game to watch. Michael Penix threw for over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bo Nix played well. They ran the ball for almost 300 yards. But actually, no, they did run the ball for over 300 yards. I'm talking about Oregon. But I guess 34 points wasn't enough for them to win that game at home. Kansas State gets a big-time win at Baylor. UNC beats Wake Forest, and they're trying to make themselves a top team in the ACC. TCU going to Texas a game everybody thought that Texas, and it was going to be a shootout. It was only 17-10. Quinn Ewers struggled for the majority of the game, and believe it or not, the only touchdown Texas scored was on defense. It wasn't even an offensive score. TCU still playing great, and they deserve to be in the playoff right now. UCLA loses at home to Arizona. That was bad. I want to be honest with you. I'm going to just be outright. That was bad. Florida State, ever since Syracuse played Clemson and made it a battle, Syracuse has lost every game since, and they haven't been even competitive in any of the games. Utah blows the doors off of Stanford, as they should. And that's pretty much it for college football and their scores. Next week, we're going to have some pretty big games. Illinois went down this week to Purdue. So right now, Purdue is the top team in the Big Ten West. So
Really?
we'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah. Right now in the Big Ten West, it would be they might be giving it to Illinois, but it's right now tied for the top is Minnesota, Purdue, Iowa, and Illinois. They're all 4-3 in the conference. So we'll see and Illinois is probably going to lose this week to Michigan. Purdue, I believe, they play Northwestern and Indiana. So Purdue's probably going to be the team representing the West.
I was going to say that's going to be a good game because you got Illinois' running back who's leading, and then you have Michigan running back who's third right now. And actually, I do have one move that I've made on my Heisman, my top 5 Heisman marks. So,
yep, we're gonna get in. Yeah, let's get into that right now. Let's just get DC's Heisman over with right now because he wasn't here Friday. So go ahead.
Sorry, Chase Brown is out of the spot. Chase Brown's not in the number 5 in the spot anymore. He's going to be replaced with Michigan's running back. I'm sorry. I mean,
Corum, for real.
Yeah, he's been going
right
crazy.
Now.
1,349 rushing yards, 17 TDs. Chase Brown, I mean, Illinois have mostly been known as a throwing type of team, and they had running backs, but they really never had like the running backs that should be breaking out and, you know what I'm saying, leading. Chase Brown, all respect to him. He has 1,400 yards. He's leading with 7 TDs, but sometimes, hey, you got to work a little bit. You got to work a little bit harder for your TDs, but sometimes it can come easy. But I'm sorry. He's been going out. He's been balling out. So right now, until I see from the last 2 games, see what happened, hey, it might be – that's the only spot I'm looking at changing. Everything else still the same. Max Dugan's going to – I think he's going to win it. They've been having a tough schedule too as well. So it's not like, just everything easy. It's just they're actually playing TCU football. You know what I'm saying? Hendon Hooker, I might be replacing his spot. We don't know yet. We'll see. But everything else still the same. Hendon Hooker still at 2, CJ Stroud at 3, Jalen Hyatt at 4, and no more Chase Brown.
I got Blake Corum winning the Heisman. I like Blake Corum. Consistent 100-yard, consistent multiple TDs in all games. I like Blake Corum.
All I want to say when it comes to the football, if y'all get a chance, look at the offensive pass leaders, and then look at the rushing leaders. That's all I have to say. Because the only come on, bro. Like, you got USC Caleb Williams. He's at number 10. Hendon Hooker's at 14. You know what I'm saying? CJ Stroud at 18. Like, you got a quarterback from Washington has 3,600 passing yards, bro. Then you got WKU quarterback. Then I'm sorry, but nobody's been talking about like University of North Carolina because they're 9-1 and just have been playing some good football. They've been playing good football. They're 9-1, and I don't cool. Their ranks, I understand that, but I feel like they should be ranked a little bit higher, bro. They're 9-1. I mean, you got Utah 8-2, Alabama 8-2, like Penn State 8-2. I feel like they should be at the top, one of the top 10 spots, not at number 13, in my opinion. So I don't know why nobody's been looking at them. They've been playing ball. I say the last time they've been playing that good since they had Trubisky down there. Or I forget, it was another quarterback they had down there like years ago too. But I'm sorry, North Carolina has been playing ball, and they don't deserve to be at 13. Top 10 is where I think they should be at. So we'll see what happens from there. But man, when I say you have these non-ranked teams, and most of these teams we don't look at, when you have them leading in top 10 for passing over these Ohio State, Alabama, USC, UCLA, and you got running backs from Illinois, which most of the time don't happen, or UAB and all these other schools leading in top in rushing over all these big name colleges, that tell you something. These other schools, I'm telling you, they're finna get the players, and you're finna see a lot of upset within the coming up next few years with the teams they developing, because that should not be happening. You getting the top talent in the world, and your guys can't even go top 10. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. So we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, in college basketball, the top 5 schools took dubs on Friday and Saturdays. North Carolina took care of business with Charleston, 102-86. Gonzaga, narrowly, they won't upset alert. They should have lost that game. Michigan State elects for a timeout with 6 seconds left. Call timeout, come out of the huddle, try to run a play. Doesn't work. They end up having to live with a contested 3-point jumper throw up. Really, just a 3-point throw up there. Hopefully it goes in, hits the back iron, game over with. So Gonzaga survives 64-63 against Michigan State. Houston handles St. Joseph's 81-55. Kentucky handles Desqueen 77-52. And Baylor took care of business against Norfolk State, 87-70. And Norfolk State was in the tournament last year, so Baylor handled them pretty well, 17-point win. Obviously, and we're going to hit Duke, and Duke destroyed South Carolina upstate. I mean, they won that game 84-38, so they didn't even allow 40 points at school. So they destroyed them. That's all but college basketball, really. Arkansas even took a dub. Dayton took a dub. TCU basketball took a dub. Auburn, Alabama, who's ranked in basketball, took a dub. Michigan narrowly beats Eastern Michigan. I watched that game. Imani Bates dropped 30 points against Michigan. 30. Imani Bates is real. Do not sleep on Eastern Michigan at all this season. If anything, that might be their only loss this season. I got a feeling.
I'm sorry.
They are that good, and they played in a conference that is not even up to par with the talent that they got on that roster. They got 2 guys that were Power 5 school material, and they are playing at Eastern Michigan. So they have 2 guys that's going to end up being drafted in the first round. So Imani Bates is real. Noah Farrakhan is real. That name, Noah Farrakhan, coming from IMG about a couple years ago. He's the real deal. Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, and funny thing about him, he had every Division I school, but when he signed his letter of intent, and when he signed it, he didn't want it announced. All those schools basically told him no, they don't want him there. So
yeah, I mean, Imani Bates is real. I mean, yes, he has some off the court issues right now. Yes, he has some off the court stuff, but Imani Bates is the real deal. I mean, he is electric. I mean, he is a superstar in the making. He is real. He dropped 30 points. He was literally throwing stuff up there and it was just hitting. Step back jumpers hitting. Crossovers, driving to the lane, getting buckets. He was getting buckets on Michigan. I mean, he was just doing Michigan behind in. And Michigan was number 22 in the country. They're number 22 in the country. and you're playing at an Eastern Michigan school that is not getting no love at all from any basketball school. Tell you, Eastern Michigan is going to be real this season. We're definitely going to talk about them a lot this season. If this is not their only loss this year, then they may come down into a game where they don't show up or something happens or they just didn't look good that night. But this game that they just played is just Imani Bates is real. So
yeah.
Tonight in college basketball, we got number 3 Houston in action. They're taking on Oral Roberts. Baylor is back in action against North Colorado.
What about the yesterday game?
Yesterday's games?
Where Colorado upset number 11 Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to say nothing about that. Tough love, Tennessee. Sorry. Don't feel sorry for you.
And they had returning players.
That goes to tell you that you shouldn't sleep on teams. Tennessee slept on that Colorado team. I saw some of the game, and I watched a few seconds of it. I was at work. I clicked in a little bit to see what was going on, and they didn't look good. They didn't look good at all. I'm not saying they look like the Lakers. I'm not saying that they look like that, but they didn't look good. It is like the second game of the season, but at the same time, you lost to a Colorado team that you should have handled well at home. That's not gonna cut it, dog. Sorry. Well, let's get back into it. Oral Roberts takes on Houston. Baylor has North Colorado today. TCU basketball is in action tonight against Northwestern State. TCU basketball is in action. They will be on ESPN Plus. Texas Tech. Yes, Texas Tech is back in action. They are back in the top 25. They are in the top 25. Like, they've been in there for a couple of years now. They play Louisiana Tech tonight. Creighton has Holy Cross tonight on CBSSN, College CBS Sports Network. At 9, some of the later games. We got Illinois in action against Monmouth, and UCLA basketball is in a late cap against Norfolk State. They are number 8, and 16 Virginia has canceled their game with Upper Iowa because of the ongoing shooting or things like that just happened on campus. UVA probably will not have any athletic events for probably this entire week or couple days, so they can recover and things like that. So all my prayers go out to their family and everything like that, and hope they get through it as well. And it's tough. I mean, you would hate to see that happen to anyone, let alone happen to college kids, because their future is so bright, whether they're playing basketball, athletics, or they're just in college. They're trying to build a future for themselves. So pray for their families and pray for that school, everybody involved, and pray for that entire school's fan base and all of that. So,
yeah, and I'm gonna start getting covered on the women's side of basketball as well too, because I know that last year's season, that was a crazy season that they also had too. Even though not a lot of people watch women's basketball, but man, that last season was a crazy season. So I'm gonna keep updates on that, especially my god sister's team as well too. So she transferred down to a school in Florida, and just see how their team become, because most of their players left, and they only got like 8 girls, so they went from a full roster like 20. Then girls transferred right before school started.
Does she play Tampa?
No.
Southeastern.
I think so. I got to double check. I'll double check and let you know. But they only have like 9 people on the roster, so they're gonna be playing a tough season, and they really have to play ball. I'm not saying I don't know if they go have the best season, but I know they go work hard and play their best and give it their all. So shout out to them down there. But I'm be looking for the women's side of NCAA basketball as well.
Gotcha. The Blackhawks get a dub. We're going to jump to NHL for a quick second. The Blackhawks, yes, the Blackhawks beat the Anaheim Ducks, making them 6-5. Man, they are over 500. We did not see this coming with the Blackhawks. Let alone, I didn't even see this coming. They are 6-5 with 15 points. Tonight they got the Hurricanes. The Islanders have the Senators tonight. The Kings take on the Flames, and the St. Louis Blues take on the
Yeah,
Avalanche
The
after they
Blues got a
beat
dub.
the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They
Yeah,
beat the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and that's a big upset right there. It's a big win for them as well. Las Vegas is known to be pretty good, and they are really
they
good.
was we snapped a 9-game win streak.
Yeah, they the real deal. So Las Vegas is going to be here, and they're here to stay. Yeah, I mean, also the Lightning, they resalvaged their season. They don't play tonight, but they resalvaged their season. They are now 8-6. I remember at the beginning of the first couple of weeks, we were saying the Lightning ain't gonna be really much. Well, they're resalvaging themselves. They're back at over 500. They're 8-6 now. So yeah, the Philadelphia Flyers play tomorrow night. They take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are 7-6. Hopefully Philadelphia gets a win in the dub column, because boy, do they need a win.
We stay.
Yeah.
Them Devils, man. Them Devils, bro.
They're playing well. They're playing really well.
No one's
Man.
seeing this happening. They're 12-3.
Man, I'm surprised to see that. Think I got a new team to look at for right now. No disrespect to my hometown team, but man, them Devils they're playing this year with 24 points total and 12-3.
The team that is not really looking good is the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're 6-6. They're not really looking like.
We're not looking good. We're 5-8. We just got our guys who've been injured off injury, and we just got them back. Now that we have our full roster back.
And so it's definitely been a good hockey season so far. I mean, you got, looking at some of the things right now, the Minnesota Wild has resalvaged themselves. They're back over 500. They're 7-6. The Predators are 6-5. Normally they have good seasons. They're playing about average hockey. The Toronto Maple Leafs are 8-5. They're like always up there. They just choke in the postseason. But the New Jersey Devils is probably the biggest shocker of the entire season. They were awful last year, and now they are 12-3 this year. So it goes to show you that, new season, new year. So always, come out on top and keep working. That's all you can really say. Just come out and start aggressive.
Facts.
Yep, absolutely.
In other news, we got the FIFA World Cup. I know it's going to get repetitive, but I'm excited. I'm stoked. The FIFA World Cup starts in a week from today. November 20th starts in a week. November 20th. The USA will be kicking off their game in the FIFA World Cup. Qatar is where it's at. So get ready for the hot. And when they come on, and Thanksgiving is next week. That's crazy, just to say the least.
Yeah.
The holiday season is here. 2022 is coming to an end very quickly. These years are flying by now. It's crazy. But
I want to say one thing too. For the loss of I don't know if y'all saw UFC lost a good fighter who retired a few years ago, Anthony Rumble Johnson. He was fighting an illness. So my condolences to the UFC, his family, his friends, everybody with him as well too. My condolences. That was one of my favorite fighters. Especially when I played the game, I always used him anyway. But my condolences to him. It's just sad to see a UFC fighter who's been fighting an illness ever since when he was in the UFC, but also even retired when it really started getting to the worst point of him. So my condolences to them and his family.
And lastly, Israel Adesanya got upset by Alex Pereira.
And that was a good fight because both of them had each other on the ropes in that fight. I was watching that.
Pierre is now 3-0 against them all time. Think about that. Adesanya is one of the greatest mixed martial art fighters ever in any different combat sport, whether it's kickboxing or MMA. and he's 0-3 against Alex Pierre. That is nuts to think about.
Yeah.
And for the majority of the fight, Adesanya was definitely controlling it. But again, Pierre just is the most powerful puncher in that division by a long shot. And Adesanya, let's be honest, out of the fighters he's had, he's never really had a guy. Let's be honest, Adesanya, when he fights, he looks bigger than everybody else. And Pierre looked twice the size of Adesanya when you watch them fight. So I think that overall,
True.
it's going to be a great battle, no matter who, because they're going to fight again. It's going to be a rematch. It's going to be another title shot for the both of them. But I think it will be a great match. But until I see that Adesanya can put away, because he is going to have to put him away. You know what I mean? Because Pierre, no matter if it's round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, can put a guy's lights out. It doesn't matter. So to me, Adesanya is probably the next time they fight is going to take that fight to the ground, and he's going to make him work, through wrestling. And I don't know if Pierre is that great of a wrestler because Adesanya really
Yes,
doesn't
sir.
take too much of an advantage of it.
Yeah, he is. To be honest with you, I'm gonna say that right
So,
there. He's a good all around fighter. He's a guy that most of the time you don't even want to go to the ground with him. But as I say, like
Wait, who are
Adesanya
you talking
also
about?
had him, could have slept him as well too.
He could have, but Pierre's got a chin. Like if you watch Pierre fight, he's got a really good chin. He does not go to sleep. And if you let him, I'm telling you, let him get a clean shot on you, you're not waking up from it. And a lot of people are debating whether that fight was called early or not. I think it was called at a good time. I think Pierre was punching him 15 times straight, and Adesanya was not defending himself. He wasn't throwing back. At that point, it's over. You know what I mean? If he's not responding to anything, it's over. And you don't want to get that guy seriously hurt. So
one more thing, I just want to say this: if that fight would have went to a decision, I say it would have literally been 1 point towards somebody's way, because that was a still good fight. If they didn't stop that and the fight, if they let the fight go on into the last round, last minute, it would have been literally down to 1 point because Adesanya almost got dropped. The other guy, he almost got dropped. He got dazed, and Adesanya hit him with a few good shots, and he almost dropped and literally got saved by the bell. And I'm like, man, that is crazy. I'm like, he got saved by the bell. And I'm like, and Adesanya could have put him away. But I say if it would have went the distance, it could have been literally a 1 point difference for who would have won that.
Yeah. If it went to decision, it probably would have been Adesanya. It probably would have went to Adesanya probably by a round or two. A lot of people debate that fourth round. I think round 1, 2, and 3 was very much, you know what I mean? Like it was very clear who won those rounds. But to me, round 4 was like a lot of people thought it was Adesanya. Personally, I thought Pierre won round 4. So yeah, I do agree with you. It probably would have went down the one round. And it was a really good fight. And let's be honest, that was not just the only great fight of that card. Chandler and Poirier went at it, man. That was electric to watch. You had Dan Hooker finally getting a win back in the UFC. Unfortunately, we saw Frankie Edgar get knocked out 3 straight times, and it's his last fight ever in the UFC. He's an absolute legend. But and Wei Li gets the belt back. She absolutely killed Carla Esparza. So it was a great event. It was probably the best UFC event of the year, in my opinion. It was the best, you know what I mean, pay-per-view event of the year by a pretty good margin.
Oh, and Floyd Mayweather's won against Deji, KSI brother.
Yeah, in the exhibition.
In a stoppage in the 8th round. I'm like, I'm sorry for y'all YouTubers, anybody like, if you're gonna come out somebody y'all size, because Deji had 50 pounds on Floyd. And like, you talking about the great, like literally one of the greatest boxers of all time. Leave that man alone, let him retire, because I'm telling you this, it ain't gonna be a good outcome. Look what happened to Logan Paul.
Yeah, I mean,
like
the Adesanya fight lasted 5 rounds and went 2 minutes and 1 second. So, like we said, that's all the other news we got. FIFA World Cup next week, starting off in Qatar. How that means to start that FIFA World Cup is starting off the holiday season. I will continue to say this until we start it up. holiday season is around the corner. So get ready to be around your families, be around your loved ones. It's almost that time of year. And, sooner or later, it's going to be back to real working again. And we're going to be back to our daily lives again. So holiday season's around the corner. Holiday season starts next week. And yeah, Thanksgiving is next week. So we'll be seeing our family soon. I'll be seeing my family soon. And, appreciate your loved ones.
Yeah.
So that's all we got today for Shot of Sports. We got Billy, we got DC. Go ahead and close us out.
Just the quote of the day: all choices are made in one mind, all acceptance is made by the Spirit. There are not billions of minds in this world at all, but only one, and it is in every one of us. But thank y'all for tuning in for another Shot at Sports with me, Jalen, and Billy. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure you subscribe. Drop a like, comment. Come get at us on our social medias if you got any questions or anything you want to hear as well, too. I'm going to give some – so next time I join, I don't know, hopefully I've been working. But I want to give out – I got an announcement to make. But thank y'all for tuning in. Another Shot of Sports.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And definitely drop some comments and definitely leave us some feedback or definitely, keep up with us, share our content. We're willing to grow with everybody and we're willing to, accept feedback whenever there is some. And we're looking to get better. So,
and we're looking to always support y'all as well, too. So, like I said, if y'all got y'all own stuff, businesses, brands, we'll support y'all. If you support us, we'll give you shout outs that you need, help you get more fan base, whatever, do whatever. Like I said, we look out the people. So
for sure,
just let us know.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for tuning in and see y'all Wednesday.
See you.
See you.